And a good morning to you, and we're here at East Van Shoe Repair, where we are talking about the kinds of shoes that actually can be repaired, because not all are really repairable, and when it's time to get them done. That's all coming up next on BT.
You got to hold on.
Yeah, thanks very much. And yeah, Jody, I know you love your shoes, and so does my husband. In fact, Rebecca, my husband, with his dress shoes, sometimes manages to get 10 years of life out of them, but it's because he takes care of them. Super important, right?
Yes, it's always important to take care of your shoes.
Let's talk about the kinds of shoes that are not easily repairable.
Well, anything that, the things that are really repairable are anything with a leather sole.
Okay.
That's something to look for when you're buying shoes. A nice leather sole, it means that they can be repaired, resoled over and over again, and they'll last for decades if you take care of them.
Excellent. And how can you tell when it's time to repair your shoes?
You know, for some leather soles, anything with a stitching, you want to get a taupey sole put on almost immediately once you buy them.
So you buy them brand new, you haven't even worn them, and you take them right to the shop.
Yeah, and you take them right to the shop. It'll just mean that they'll last that much longer. With the rain here in Vancouver, it's nice to put these on right away. It just makes it so that you have a little bit of grip as well. So that's something that you want to do right away. You can wear them for a little bit, but you definitely want to put those on sooner than later with the leather soles. For the heels, you want to make sure that, you know, if you are wearing the heels, just flip them over every once in a while and make sure that you're not wearing into the heel base. Once this rubber is gone, you definitely want to put some new heels on. You know, if you do go into the base, you can, you know, add a layer and then put a heel on, but it does end up costing you a little bit more. So it's good to just, you know, flip your shoes over once in a while and make sure that you, you know, come into your cobbler and get your heels replaced.
Yeah, and Riaz and Jody, so it might cost you a little bit to repair them, but like I said, my husband, he's got a pair of Florsheim's that he will, you know, 10 years he gets out of them. Might cost him 25 bucks to get the heels done, but you know, your shoes can last a really long time if you take care of them. We got proper shoe maintenance, including how to get that perfect shine, coming up just after 7 o'clock. Hey, and you know, icy conditions on the roads, meaning that the crews will often salt the roads, and then of course we get the rain, so you know what happens to your shoes, you get these pesky salt stains. How you can repair those and remove them at home, plus how to get that perfect shine here at the East Van Shoe Repair. Stay with us, you're watching BT. Yeah, we want to prolong the life of your shoes, which in turn eventually saves you money, Rebecca. Wintertime, salt on the shoe, big problem. How do you get rid of it?
It's a big problem. It can wreck a shoe if your shoes are totally saturated with water, especially when they salt the roads. Mix 1 part vinegar, 10 parts water. Just wipe them off with a damp cloth. The vinegar will neutralize the salt, and it'll hopefully stop them from wrecking the leather on the shoe.
What a great tip, something that you can do at home today. And then it's all about keeping the shoes all nice and tidy, and they used to call it the spit shine.
Yeah.
Do you still call it that? Is anyone coming? I want a spit shine.
I try not to use too much spit in my polish. So yeah, when you polish, you just want to use a wax polish on any sort of men's dress shoe or leather boot. So just apply it in small circles like this. You know, you kind of want to warm it up to soak it into the leather. And then the key to a good shine is always the buffing. So you need a big, nice horsehair buffing brush, and then you just want to lightly buff it, and you'll see the shine come out on the shoe.
What a difference it makes. Now, you talked about wax polish. Is most polish wax?
Yeah, you can get these wax polish, or you can get shoe creams. These are a little bit nicer for a finer type leather that doesn't really need the wax polish. This will just help bring a little bit of color into the scuffs and also help condition the leather.
I love how passionate you are about shoes. Your past career was actually more in fashion, so it's kind of related, but how did you get into becoming a cobbler?
Well, I started making my own shoes and kind of got into it that way. I was making clothes, and shoes were just the next step for me, and so shoemaking and fixing shoes kind of went together for me.
And not a lot of lady cobblers, I must say, so it's nice to see you representing, and you know, she'd probably be able to do a great job on some of your shoes, Jody. I know we're not going back to Jody, but Michelle, you got nice shoes as well. Bring them on down here to East Van Shoe Repair, where she'll make those shoes shine for you.
Sounds good. I've got a lot that need work, so I'm going to put that on my list.
Yeah, and it's all about protecting your shoes using a taupey protective sole. How do they put it on? We're going to find out coming up next on BT from the East Van Shoe Repair Shop. We are here at East Van Shoe Repair, where we heard earlier that one of the best things you can do for your shoes is to apply the taupey protective sole before you even wear them. So you're going to show us how it's done.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a sole that's already prepped and sanded and glued. And so what I do is I heat up the sole and in my oven and then stick it on the press. So this just helps secure the sole so that you know that it's going to be on.
Just like that, and it basically is heating and it's essentially warming the glue, or how does that, what's it actually doing?
It heats up the glue and it reactivates it, and then when you press it, it's stuck. So it's a contact cement. It just ensures that it's stuck. You know, some cobblers use a hammer and just hammer it, but it can kind of break the bond of the glue. So it's nice to have a press. It's a little bit better to make sure that your soles stick on.
It's nice to see people kind of repairing things, because we've gotten to be such a throwaway society sometimes, where it's like, oh, you know, the soles aren't good anymore, I'm going to throw them out. But really, it makes a difference to invest a little bit of time and money in your shoes.
For sure. Just spending a little bit extra and buying a good pair of shoes really makes a difference. You know, it's the difference between them lasting a year and lasting 10 years. And, you know, just taking care of them and looking at them and making sure that you bring them in before it's too late.
And what's the approximate cost? So, for instance, what you're doing right now, what would that cost?
Yeah, it's $25 for the pair, and then you get a good shine and polish with it as well.
Awesome. Nice little bonus. I'll let you continue on with that last shoe. For more details on East Van Shoe Report, you can go to the website, and we've got lots more ways to protect your shoes coming up next, just before 9 o'clock, guys. I'm here at the East Van Shoe Repair Shop, and we are going to be talking about the tools that you need in every home to maintain your shoes. And believe it or not, these shoes here are over 100 years old. We'll tell you what makes them last so long. It's all about the care, coming up next on BT. Thank you very much. And you know, we want to keep your shoes nice and pretty. And you know, I'm sure that being a cobbler and shoemaking, the art of it, or shoe repair, I should say, has changed over the years with the technology. But you know what? Old school sometimes is best, right?
Yeah, some of the old machines, you know, all the technology and the mechanics of the machines is still the same. A lot of the machines are 100 years old, but the only thing that's changed is changing out the treadle machines for a motor. But mechanics are usually the same. This machine's about from 1960, and it's my patcher, so it's where I stitch all the leather uppers.
Excellent. Well, she does lots of great work here at East Van Shoe Repair. We want to make sure that everyone at home, though, has the tools they need to maintain their shoes.
Yes. So a big thing with shoe care, and it's probably the thing that will make your shoes last the longest, is shoe trees. I recommend investing in a good pair of cedar shoe trees. The nice thing about these is they're antibacterial. You can keep sanding them, and it brings out the cedar smell, and it just keeps the shape of the shoes. So when you take off your shoes, you know, your feet are a little bit moist, and so the leather gets a little bit moist, and it just kind of helps keep the shape of the shoe and keeps the life of them.
And then, of course, your boots sometimes can need a little special extra care, right?
Yeah, for sure. Any women's boots that have a zipper, you know, if you've ever had to replace the zippers, you know that it's quite expensive. Having a pair of boot shapers really, you know, when you're storing the boot so it's not stored flopped over, will help keep those zippers intact so you don't have to replace them as often.
Now, speaking of not having to replace often, these boots are over 100 years old. Very briefly, how did they manage to last so long?
You know, they're leather. Anything that's a leather upper will last a long time if you keep conditioning the leather. You know, this is just a testament of, you know, buying good shoes that are leather. They'll last you know, 100 years if you keep conditioning them.
And keep taking care of them. For more details on East Van Shoe Repair, you can, of course, go to their website, coming up on your screen throughout the morning. Thanks so much for sharing all your knowledge.
Thanks for coming.
Back over to you guys.